We, the Yoruba people of southwestern Nigeria, deservedly seek to cash in our incalculable contribution to Britain's wealth. To this end, we demand that Britain A. recognize our right to self-determination, and B. made massive investment of billions of pounds in Yoruba land to bring us up to the level of Singapore and South Korea. Britain was arguably the most successful slave trading country. Indeed, Britain and Portugal accounted for 3/4 of all Africans transported to the Americas. Britain was the most dominant between 1640 and 1807. Britain transported more than 5 million Yoruba to its colonies in the Caribbean and the Americas as slaves. Between 1750 and 1780, about 70% of the British government's total income came from taxes on goods from its colonies. Working a minimum of 10,000 unpaid hours yearly, Yoruba slaves generated most of the wealth that created the British manufacturing economy and the Industrial Revolution. In the early stages of the transatlantic slavery, the British government granted charters to the slave merchants. Charters were granted on the advice of the Privy Council to create and define the privileges and purposes of corporations. The Company of Royal Adventurers of England trading with Africa, the largest single British company involved in the transatlantic slavery, was created by charter. The ships of the company enjoyed the protection of the Royal Navy, and the traders made good profits. The British judiciary provided cover for the slave merchants against loss at sea of their human cargo. In 1781, for example, the courts compensated owners of the slave ship Zona for the 150 slaves that the crew deliberately threw overboard. The slave plantation economy was huge, and it made Britain the most powerful economic force on earth by the turn of the 19th century. Profits from the Yoruba enslavement were felt throughout Britain, financing banks, including the Bank of England, and financing notable buildings, including of the West India Docks in London. Finance houses grew rich from fees and interest earned from merchants who borrowed money for their long voyages. Bristol, Glasgow, Liverpool, and London were the key ports for the trafficking of the enslaved Yoruba across the Atlantic. Slave transport was restricted to these ports under the 1799 Slave Trade Act. The merchants, shipbuilders, metal manufacturers, and sailors who directly furnished the slave trading expeditions were a major source of income and wealth for these port cities, as well for other people whose economic activity was in the slavery support trades. Birmingham sold well over 100,000 guns per year to the slavery economy. Thank you.